Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It is so great to see everybody. Thanks for picking a great topic today. We're going to look at strategizing for this week ahead. Athena, of course, being the main energy that we'll be tapping into. I'll talk a little bit about the mythology of her as well, plus channeled messages. So if you're brand new, I do this every Sunday. The topics change. The format can change too. It really is driven by what you're interested in and what I'm picking up on. So welcome, old viewers and new viewers. Good to have you here. I always like to show Apollo at the beginning. He's just grooming himself and chilling out there in the background. Yes. All right, let's get started. So Athena, great choice. She is goddess of wisdom. She's known for also being a goddess of war. And I actually had war-themed dreams last night. But first, I just want to kind of like symbolically break down why I think this is going to be fun to look at. When it comes to war, the strategy piece is really important because you have to know which battles are worth fighting. I think that's like one thing that we can pull just from the fact that you guys chose her. There may be a lot of things that are kind of like taking your time, your energy, your attention, and it's going to be important for you to figure out, is it worth it? There may be some things that you're like, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, I stand for this, then great. But if there's hesitation, really think about the time, the energy, and the output that it's going to take in order to bring something to the next level. So that's message number one. She was birthed out of Zeus's head, which is kind of one of the most dramatic ways that you can make an entrance. And she was fully armored, because it's mythology. We need it to be dramatic. So here's a really cool takeaway from that. This week, you're ready. She came prepared to fight. She also is about brainstorming. So you may have this epiphany this week. Now I know I want to do this, or I don't know why it was so difficult to make this decision. It's clear now. So to me, it represents clearing of the mind. She also broke through the mind of Zeus, which is not an easy thing to do. So if there's a challenging, she'd be like the strength card, actually. Queen of Swords, strength, any of the strong female divine feminine cards in tarot, but strength in particular. So if you have to kind of go at it with somebody that intellectually, maybe even just when it comes to title or whatever is a little bit intimidating, don't let it get into your head, literally. Let it go, speak your truth, and really make sure that when you come forward and have the conversation that you're prepared. This week is a week to do your homework. If I titled this something different, it would be like, be prepared, do your homework. That's going to make the difference between success, not necessarily success and failure, but at least a difficult battle and an easy one. So there you go. Now let's go into what I got separate of this, which was I saw like a battle, a war, but there was no battle plan. So it was just wasted time and energy. So the strategy piece goes to that too. There's no guarantees in life. That's the fun part. We have a lot of free will. And the only thing that you can guarantee on some levels is that there's a level of unpredictability. There is change that's going to happen throughout your life, and that we don't get to live forever in this body. Our souls are eternal, but the physical body has a finite amount of time. So because this is a finite vehicle and we have finite resources like time, energy, money, let's spend them well. And as I look at things this week, I want to make sure that the expenditures are logical, like they make sense. And if there's anything that is zapping your battery, so to speak, let's stop. Let's get into the energy of recharging. And conversely, if there's something that is kind of like amping you up and making you feel better, more of that, please, right? All right, we're going to get into the next topic, or not the next topic, but the next portion of this, which is a 7-day forecast. And this is going to help us see what's coming through in the week ahead. All right, before I do any readings, I think it's very important to set intention. So imagine that you could trace a circle of golden light around your body. Within this circle, set the intention to receive energy in the highest forms for the highest good. And let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. One card for each day of the week. So today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then next weekend. All right, let's get this all lined up, and we'll take it one day at a time, starting with today. This looks familiar. Sometimes they align. I believe I had the Seven of Swords for the daily card, so I love when there's a good synchronicity. In this particular card, it's a little bit counter to what it normally is. Let's count the swords that she has there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Usually you don't have all 7 there. You would have like 5 in the foreground. I think it's supposed to be 5 in the foreground and then the 2 up there with the Eye of Providence. So there is an opportunity to cut your losses. So this is something that, since I only have like a minute to a minute and a half to do the daily, we can go deeper now. Spirit wanted me to talk more about the Seven of Swords. I had highlighted, for those that haven't seen the daily card, that it's important to be honest and accountable. This includes making sure that if you make a promise, you keep it, and to pay attention when other people tend to not do what they say they're going to do. So that's the very, very quick review of what I already said. But one other thing that didn't make that cut was sometimes you have to cut your losses. Sometimes you look at it and you think, I'm tired of this. Again, the energy isn't returning. It's just a one-way thing. And maybe I could fix it. Maybe I can break through this person. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing at all. And if that's the case, I will cut my losses and I'll move forward. So you can look at this in 2 ways. She could be getting away with something, or she could just be saying, enough is enough. Based on her facial expression in this card versus the traditional one, it looks more like it's cutting of losses and getting that bird's eye view that the Eye of Providence would show us. So seeing what you can kind of like muster up and like, what did I learn? What can I take away from this? How can I make sure it doesn't happen again? So reframing the narrative is so important because it's a great coping mechanism. That wasn't ideal, but I learned so much and I won't repeat it. So I'm not going to beat myself up. And that's the takeaway. There was a mistake in your life today, this week, this month, this year. See what you can take away from it and then move forward. That is the heightened version of the Seven of Swords. Cut your losses. So there's only so much I need or want to say in any given daily card. There was a little bit more that needed to come through in the weekly, okay? And yeah, someone put in chat, enough is enough, kind of like that old song by Barbra Streisand and who else was it? Donna Summer, disco song. Enough is enough, amen. All right, let's look at the beginning of the week. Monday, looking pretty good. This is a great day for networking, meeting, having a date, having some fun, exploring things, just getting out and about. The one thing that I've been noticing, and it feels like it's a broken record because it's really important to repeat it, but if you're job seeking, this is especially for you. It is the network that you have that is going to help you get the next job. I think there's so many people that are looking, and there's such a talented pool that when you can dip into, and it's not just like professional, this could be old classmates, old neighbors, a friend of a friend that knows somebody. Like, we need to really work the network. So strategically, you might be deciding to, mix and mingle a little bit to see if you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that could get you that job. For everyone else, there could be someone new coming into your life, a new friend, a new acquaintance, and this is a time to enjoy the sort of courtship process, getting to know someone, whether it's just platonic or it's romantic. We don't necessarily want to rush the energy of the Three of Cups. Also, whether or not you're looking to broaden your sort of social sphere, Three of Cups is having fun. Celebrate whatever little success you have, just even getting through the day. Do something that brings joy and fun in your life. It doesn't have to be drinking. It can be watching a movie, hanging out with a friend, spending some time with your dog. I don't care. Something that brings a sense of joy and that will help you move forward. All right. Looking at Tuesday, also pretty good. We've been getting a lot of beginning energy. Like we got the Fool and the Sun earlier this week. The Fool is making an appearance again here on Tuesday. And Chimney Sweep, I think I actually pulled this exact card. And so what I liked about this one is the Fool doesn't carry a heavy burden into a new situation. They're basically bringing just what they need, and they're suspending anything like disbelief or trying to lift someone up on a pedestal, themselves included. Just take it one step at a time. Tuesday is a day for beginnings, not for complications. Meet someone halfway, get out and walk around, do things fun. It does not need to be Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It doesn't need to be deeper than it needs to be either. Sometimes we just need to like experience something in the moment. If you are trying to get a commitment on Tuesday, it could be a little tricky. Often when people come through with Fool energy, they want like no strings attached. So that's why I think it's important just to, this is the getting to know you. It's like the law of detachment coming through at the beginning of the week. So you make a connection, you take a step back. It's like a dance. One step forward, one step back, see if they follow, see if they're attracted as well. This is a chance to kind of suss out, is it a mutual attraction? So if you take a step back and you're still smiling and I hope we connect again, blah, 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 and then see if they actually follow through on that. You don't have to lead all of the time. See if they lead, see if they reach out, okay? Let's go to the midweek here. We have 2 of Swords coming through for Wednesday, but it is in the reverse position, which is ideal. This is an unveiling. This is a reveal. Sometimes we don't like what we see, but 9 times out of 10, it's there for our benefit. So there could be a person in your life that shows a characteristic that you don't like. There could be a contract. You look at the fine print and you're like, oh, I wanted to like this, but I can't do it because of X, Y, or Z. There could also just be this understanding that it's not only okay, but vital to ask a question. So you're thinking to yourself, I don't get it. Is it just me? That question, is it just me? You talk to someone else and you're checking, like, is everyone else as confused as I am? So if they are not, then you've given them permission to ask questions too. And then, well, why are we doing this? Well, can we get some clarity? Is there another way? Have we explored all the options? So you might be the voice of reason just by asking a question. If you're not clear, don't proceed. Wait, pause, get the information that you need. As we go to Thursday, it's looking pretty good. This is very Athena coded, as I talked about. I mentioned Queen of Swords. She's connected with strategy, with law. She fights for what she needs. And when she's reversed, she will just go straight in and say something. It's blunt. So there is a time and a place to be the Queen of Swords reversed. Specifically when it's something that, like we had the 7 of Swords coming through, if this person tries it again, you would just say, no, we talked about that. That's not what we're doing. Not a lot of words, but a lot of punch. Or, you know, if someone is trying to take advantage of you, you can say, did you not think I read the contract? This is what this is not right. No. And also this can be even more amping up on the questions. I'm seriously excited or concerned or curious about this. We need to address this before proceeding. So I'm definitely getting energy around information gathering, finding and using your voice, creating firm boundaries, and all of it's culminating here on Thursday. She's good at communications, but she's not going to mince any words. Brief, concise, fair, sometimes blunt. Sometimes you need that. Based on the spread, we're embracing the Queen of Swords reversed. The only thing you have to do is make sure that the time is right. That's the one thing that I'll always highlight with that. But otherwise, based on what I see here, I think it's actually good to come through and be to the point. All right, let's take a look at the energy of Friday here. We have the 3 of Wands. The card is reversed, and it's a reminder to look beyond what's obvious. So behind me, it's basically the same scene. We're in a marine layer here. If you're in Los Angeles, there's like May gray and June gloom. So for 2 months, sometimes you just have fog. People don't always know that about LA. It doesn't always stay for a full 2 months. Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 weeks, but we haven't even seen the sun for a few days here. It's kind of interesting. So just because I can't see to the mountains or to the ocean doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just means that they're obscured. So this 3 of Wands is encouraging you to look beyond. And so he's using his telescope there. He has 3 bright lanterns. So you might have to be imaginative, speculative, inquisitive. It's not obvious this week. There are some clouds. It could be a shadow of doubt. It could be someone hiding something. It could be a lack of imagination. It's there, but you need to search a little bit more than you normally would. This is also about being at the right place at the right time. So The Three of Wands works because the person is looking at the horizon and sees what's coming. But if he's not looking at those three ships, which you can kind of see, and he's looking over here, or he's paying attention to his phone, which is a much more accurate version of how the Three of Wands might be, he's going to miss what's going on. Put the phone in your pocket, look around, talk to people. This is a week to be very engaged, Friday in particular, because you might miss it if you're not present. So be more present. All right, I just did the math meme, but it's actually on this card too. Now we're taking a look at Saturday. And Eight of Cups, very interesting. So typically with the Eight of Cups, I'm going to go to the traditional card because I don't think that this one tells this story correctly. With the Eight of Cups, it's a chance to commit or break, make or break a cycle. Second chances, if there's something that you've always wanted to do but never quite put the energy into, now it's a chance to do it. You might also just need a break. If you're working too hard and you're just feeling a lack of imagination, you're stressed, etc. This card is about stepping back and getting perspective. So in this situation, Rider-Waite-Smith wins because we can see the person doing that. They've left space for that person to come back. This can be as short as taking 5 or 10 minutes to just walk away and see how you feel outside of the group, outside of the room. This could be as significant as taking a few months to make a major decision like, do I want to relocate? Do I want to buy or sell something that's really big, like a house? You don't want to kind of go into that just on an impulse. So those bigger decisions, take your time. Shorter decisions, like smaller things, just make sure that you're thinking for a second, I can't afford this. That was something I had to do the other day. I really wanted to move forward on something, and I'm like, the budget isn't where it needs to be, maybe in 5 or 6 months. So, and I had to sleep on it to get the clarity. I'm like, later, we got to see where things are at the end of the year. So much can happen with just a good night's rest, talking to someone else, and exploring the options. That's also what this is exploring what else is out there. Okay? So that's what you should do on Saturday. I don't want to see any like contract signing. I think it's a day to kind of like step back, review. And again, take a break if you want to. That's very connected to Saturday energy. This is fully avoidable. We have all these cards here which can help transmute this. One of the reasons that I like doing readings is that we talked about it last week, but it's like something in a science fiction or a fantasy novel where as you look at a map, it changes based on your decisions. That's why we keep showing up. So you can avoid this. This is what the Ten of Swords represents. You can even see it here. This is like a corporate worker. So if you overwork, you can just get burned out. It doesn't always mean that there's going to be something terrible that happens. It's just like, well, you get sick, you get tired. You no longer have the energy, the attention to do what you need to do, and you might make a mistake, and then that equals failure, which is what this card can also represent. So failure and burnout due to the fact that you're not taking care of yourself. So take care of yourself. Do what we saw here with the Queen of Swords, which is speak up. Make sure that you're also looking, we'll talk more about this when I get into the special topic. We have to look beyond the now. So now is important, but next is even more important. And then the next. So Athena is a chess player, basically. If we were to bring it into modern times, she would be thinking 2, 3, 4, 5. She wants to go all the way to checkmate. She's got it all planned out. And then she even knows what you might be thinking, and she has another plan. So we want to be strategic. And the only way to be strategic is to take a step back, to rest, and to not put all of our eggs in one basket. That is going to set you up so that if one thing falls apart, it's not the end of the world. No Chicken Little this week, okay? There could be some things going on with your back where you want to pay attention to that. So a massage, chiropractic adjustment, your doctor, whatever you need to do to make sure that that's taken care of. This can also be chronic pain or fatigue. Again, all of these things are exacerbated by overworking. So just get ample rest. Next Sunday is another day. You could just take this Eight of Cups energy and make it next weekend for the most part. Take a break, take some time, and relax. Also, when it comes to arguments, don't take the bait. If someone's trying to come in and get you to, Athena would just say like, it's not worth my time and energy. Cutting the losses here. You could stop it today. You could stop it any day this week. All right, so let's look at highlights and challenges for this week, and then we'll move on to the next portion. So the highlight, or two highlights of the week, I actually think the beginning of the week is very strong. Three of Cups and the Fool. They're upright, they're good, they're easy energies to connect with. I think that the most powerful and impactful day is probably Thursday with Queen of Swords. These are the easiest. This is the most powerful. I think the most challenging is today and a week from today. Today, because you just have to get honest with yourself, cut your losses, and next weekend, next Sunday, because you don't want to burn out and you don't want to take the bait. And that's pretty much everything there. So this will be here if you need to review it throughout the week. Highly recommend that. I also do daily checkpoints that can be married with this. You can imagine it as like two cards, like where we were here and how you're tracking. If you ever wondered how the dailies kind of track with that, that's what it is. I'm looking at it today. You make decisions, you make changes. Are you tracking better? Or like today, are we doing exactly the same as what I pulled? Okay. We're going to go into the elemental portion of the forecast. This is the only thing that really involves sign-specific information. Everything else is for all of you that are present. Just trying to find the graphic. Here we go. All right, so let me see. Kind of like this deck. I might just stick with it. So let's stick with the same deck as we're doing this. All right, we're going to look at fire, earth, air, and water and see what messages are coming forth. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay, so we'll start off with fire signs first. We have Six of Cups energy. It's in the reverse position. It's reminding you to take some time to connect with people that you care about the most. This can be sibling energy. It can be lovers. It can be best friends. It's the core relationships that bring us the most joy, but it's also the people that can get under our skin the most. So the reversal of this card is saying that, you know, have good boundaries when it comes to the closest, like the sibling energy that I talked about, or even there may be, sometimes when we look at a parent, it can almost feel like it's more like your brother or sister or friend because the roles have kind of shifted or they never were, kind of like a parent and child energy. So for some of you, there's just a message this week about redefining and establishing stronger boundaries, particularly when it comes to these core relationships in your life. If you meet someone this week that's new, because we did get the Three of Cups energy for Monday, right? It could be like this feeling of familiarity. I'm like deja vu. I've known you before, and maybe you have. If I look at a love reading and pull this card, it typically represents karma. So all of these are good things this week. Just remember when it is karma, one of the things that I'm seeing here is to use your voice and to look beyond what's in front of you. So to be inquisitive, to make sure that you're seeing everything and that you're not kind of going head over heels, which is what happens when the card is reversed. Finally, this is about literally getting your flowers, a new phrase that we kind of have come to use over the past couple of years. It's reversed, so it's saying, remember to give people flowers. I love you. Thank you. You're doing a great job. To the person that you love, to someone that you work with, to someone in the neighborhood. Figuratively give people flowers. You're probably overdue for receiving flowers as well, but with that in mind, as you get older, you realize it's nice to get that recognition, but it's not always necessary to know that you're doing the right thing. My grandfather, who passed away a long, long time ago in the 90s, but one of the things that he said was his favorite part of getting old was not having to prove that he was right, just knowing that he was right. I didn't get it until much later. He's just like, I don't care. I just watch people spin their wheels and then he just turned on the TV or read a book or did something else. He didn't have to prove it anymore. So you don't have to get validation. You don't have to kind of like go at all of that stuff. Just knowing is enough sometimes. Give yourself the flowers. Right. Literally, go pick a flower. It's a good thing. He was a gardener, and he always went out and had a fresh bouquet in his house. He said, why am I growing them if not to enjoy them? So I like that about him too. He was a good guy. All right, let's focus now. So by the way, that's for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Let's move from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have success, but a delay perhaps in the success, the Six of Wands. It is in reverse. Everything that I just said about validation comes into this card as well. Sometimes with the Six of Wands, you lead the charge. We do see people in the background on this one, but they're not always going to be applauding. They're not always going to get it or understand why you're doing something. To be a leader is often to innovate. To innovate is often to be misunderstood, but in the eyes of history or in hindsight, things usually balance out. So continue to do what's right, continue to innovate, listen to your intuition, and know that in time, things will work out. You may be thrust into a leadership position or a decision-making position this week. And as I said earlier, you've got this. Athena came through fully armored with her weapon. I mean, it's a mythology sort of thing, but it's an analogous to this. So you're prepared. You just have to feel like, I can do this. I've got this. And that can be your mantra this week. Get out in public, mix and mingle. This is a great time to meet new people, but you have to get out of your shell in order to make that happen. A great week for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Success. Again, if the success or the recognition is a bit delayed, it's still in development, it's happening, so just know that you're on the right track. All right, let's move on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Pretty solid for you as well here. We have the King of Swords, which is you. It's in the upright position, so this is a great week to use your communication skills. We do look at this particular person as he's reading, so this is a good time for those of you that are creative to put it into writing, to sketch it out, to make some sort of a prototype, to roll up your sleeves and get busy. You may also be asked to speak in front of a group, to share your opinion. You've got what it takes this week to make it happen. The other thing with the King of Swords here is action. So it's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. So I feel like a combination this week of good strategy, good communication, and then following through on that. Very good energy for all of the air signs. Let's move on to water. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We also have water coming through for you. 10 of Cups, favorable energy around relationships. So we have in this little spread here, we have the 3 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. People are going to play an important role, it looks like. So it's a really good month, really good week for everybody to connect with others. And you don't have to do this alone. That's the big takeaway I'm getting with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And if you're looking to deepen an existing relationship, meet someone new, or just expand your social sphere, this is a fantastic time to do that. Just like the Lover's card, 10 of Cups is super magnetic, charismatic, and persuasive. So also, if you're trying to get other people to agree, like sway opinion, you can do that. But you can do it by getting a few people on board and get them to get a few people. It's like this ripple effect is really what I'm seeing. So yes, with the charisma, but also like get a bunch of people on the same page. And then that's when really exciting things start to manifest. And someone may be ready to make a commitment this week. It doesn't have to just be in love or marriage. It might be something else, but there you go. Really good stuff as we looked at the elements. So thank you. All right, I'm going to pause for a second. If you're brand new, subscribe. And I have the browser window open and ready. I'm going to gift 5 memberships to 5 lucky people who just happen to be tuning in right now. So welcome. It's good to see you. Memberships, by the way, are a fantastic way to give back, like set it and forget it. And then at the end, I recognize people who have reached certain membership tiers. You'll also get some cool icons and emojis. So thank you to all of you. I couldn't do it without your support. You can also do a one-time sticker. I even have a PayPal, which I can link up in a future sort of reading. But yeah, all of these things are great ways to give back and just support the channel. Patreon too. Like I'm not, don't discriminate. I know that for each of you, there might be a different preference. All right, we're going to go to the special topic. So today's special topic is Athena, and it's about strategizing your next move. So I'm thinking about this. If I want to do the same old spread, it could show a lot in this. I could also try something different. So I'm going to think about that for a second, because strategy is interesting. We could look at it from like maybe doing 3, 6, 9, sort of like a grid spread, like where you've been and how that's been working. And then what opportunities might be presenting themselves. We could kind of shake it up. But what I might do, I think I can do that, but I'm going to start off with only a Celtic cross and then make room for some of these other questions that could come through. So for the traditionalists that want the Celtic, we'll do it, but we're not going to do the expanded as per usual. We're going to do a different expanded guided by the topic. So changing things up, but also keeping things somewhat recognizable. I sound like that piece in Bridesmaids where Kristen Wiig is talking about things change, but sometimes they change and they stay the same. We're blending the approach here. All right. Celtic cross only plus a catalyst, perhaps. All right. Again, show me what you're doing. That's really what I want to see here, because this is going to show me energetically what's going on and maybe what's availing itself. And then I can dig a little bit deeper into some of the stuff. I'll quantify some things after this is all laid out. Okay. By the way, memberships are completely random. So for those that are gifting and saying they want it, there's just a little option for you to turn on. I'm ready to accept it. That's all you have to do. And then it's just a matter of luck. So there you go. Yeah, everything's changing this month in the best possible ways. I'm doing it with the monthlies too, so I can get them all done this week and then get the other ones done and then get us all ahead. And it's actually better. Changes are good. Changes are great. All right, let's pull up the right graphic here for the catalyst. So this is beautiful. So this is basically death and rebirth. Thank you, angels, for opening up the doors to change. I am ready. So this ostensibly could be Archangel Azrael ushering in something new, and also letting you know that everything happens for a reason. So we have like this beautiful combination of shadow and light. We are in a dimension in which both exist. So it's not solely light, it's not solely shadow. Sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes the pendulum swings here or here. But basically we need one to show us the other. So it's about finding balance too. And that's the sort of hidden meaning in this card as well. And when things go dark, you have to be the light. Be the lighthouse, like I said back in my first season, my first year doing this. We have this beautiful door opening up. Whatever is about to begin is better than whatever you're stepping away from. That chapter had probably closed a few weeks or months ago, but we're just now stepping through it and realizing, okay, I'm done with that. Okay. A new beginning. Beautiful energy. Beautiful way to begin the Athena reading. All right, Athena, show us what's going on here. What are we doing right? What could we improve? So how much do we love that there's a synchronicity that the Three of Wands came through yet again in the reverse, saying you need to look beyond what's obvious. You need to look in different directions. We have death and rebirth. It's already happened. As I said, you're stepping into something new. You have to decide to do it. So already I'm starting to see a lot of commonalities. What I like about this Three of Wands is that you are the vehicle. You are the one that makes it happen. She's not waiting for anyone else to come and meet her. She's doing it herself. This is like super entrepreneurial, which can be a part of the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is the continuation of the two. The two is a visionary. They're looking at the world. They're looking at the globe or a crystal ball, depending on the deck. And they're saying, I see it. Three of Wands is when you actually see it in the real world. So first you see it here, and then Three of Wands, you see it in the real world. This person sees that no one else is doing it, so they're going to do it. So you are doing something that maybe hasn't been done before, and it doesn't have to be like inventing a product. It could be in your family. So maybe you're the first to go to college, the first to buy a house, the first to move to another country, the first to say no to somebody. Whatever the first is, there's a first that's happening. And there's a little bit of, the word denial comes through, but it's not. I guess you're denying the sort of vision that you can or you should do it. So don't deny it. Just do it. Like Nike, which is a goddess, by the way. Yeah. Or a god, I think, Nike. Anyway, Three of Wands, go ahead. And this is also something where I'm getting like the early bird gets the worm. So it's important to take action on it and not hesitate too much. So be proactive, be entrepreneurial, be rebellious, follow your vision, and be the agent of change. The surfer and the surfboard are one. okay? You have help, you have connections. You don't have to do it all alone. So the Two of Cups can be a trusted friend or ally. There may also be partnership that is sort of burgeoning on the side, something new that's starting to grow. And this can also just be the commitment to self. Like, I commit to this. I believe in myself. I support myself. So you might just be hugging or shaking the hand of the inner child and saying, let's do this, self. But there could also literally be another person in your life that could bring some assistance here. It's touching the legal card, the Justice card. So you might have someone in your life that can help you. Like when I was making the decision on investing in something, I talked to someone and I'm like, be real with me. Is this the right time? And they said, financially, no, you've got to wait. I said, thank you. That's why I came to you, because I knew you would tell me what I needed to hear and what I knew, but it helps to hear it from another person. So sometimes we need the outside perspective. A teacher, a parent, an accountant, a lawyer, someone who is looking out for your good and is willing to say no, or to say, have you thought of another way? What else do you have? So find that trusted friend. There might be a couple that you're talking to. The inquisitive energy, Two of Swords, is coming through in that way, okay? Thank you for saying that Nike's a goddess. I knew that it came from mythology. All right, so here we have death and rebirth in the deep past. We're really focusing on the beginning part, but you have to let go first. So the fact that this is in the deep past is saying, even if I'm not ready, even if I didn't see it coming, even if it's a surprise, I guess that's done now. You can accept someone else's goodbye. You can accept a closure of something so that you can let the anchor go. Let yourself be liberated. This death card shows that through the shroud is a new beginning. And since we have the scythe here, you can reap the reward of the hard work and the lessons that you've learned. So it's all comprised within this card. I actually kind of prefer cards like this because they don't scare people so much. As a reader, I don't mind if I see the death card. It's like a really big change moment for you. It's metamorphosis. But I know that the traditional imagery can scare people. It was designed as such, though, for a reason, because on that card you see a king, you see a mother, you see a child, you see a commoner, and it's basically saying everybody has to change. Everybody has to have their moment where it's like, that's done. So it just feels like something has come to a close, but the acceptance piece is what's missing. Now we have Justice. This is one of my favorite cards as well, because there's always two sides to every story. Maybe you're listening to someone else's side. Maybe you're trying to articulate your own, because we had Queen of Swords reversed. No is just as powerful as yes. And seeing things as they truly are is a liberating moment for you. When things are unjust, look at how awake she is. She's like, I don't think so. This is a peaceful card. Everything's balanced. Great, great, great. But the reverse side of justice is, I'm going to fight for this. So Athena is coming through and in no uncertain way is saying, if you've been wronged, if someone's acting a fool, if something is imbalanced, unjust, that's when you fight, especially if it's harming you or someone that you love. If it's just someone that thinks that they're right and they're wrong and it's not, whatever. If it's someone that has a different opinion, they're entitled to it. But if it's someone that's harming you or stealing from you or doing something like that, that's when Athena wants you to take the sword, figuratively speaking. We're talking about communication, but then and use it and say, let's fight for that, okay? I mean, Justice holds the sword as well, but she only uses it when she needs to. And it also is to cut through the nonsense. Like it's all figurative when we're looking at tarot. So fight for what matters. Don't fight for the sake of just fighting. Now, if I were just doing a one-card reading and someone's asked me, should I do it? Just like my advisor, I would say, what else do you have? No. This is a no card. This is also saying that you can just say no. Even if you haven't committed and you said to someone, well, maybe, I don't know. Like once you've had your Eight of Cups moment, which we talked about, take a step back, rest, recalibrate, then come back and say, I thought about it. No. That's it. Don't say too much. When I had one of my first big jobs and I needed to get out of something, it was my manager at the time. She's like, just just say you can't do it. She said, don't give a lot of reasons. You don't want to do it. She said, but don't speak yourself into a corner. And if they don't ask, then you don't have to say it. So just say, I can't make it. And she was right. They were like, okay, moved on to the next person. When you start making things up, that's when you get into trouble. So either just say, I don't want to do it, or I can't make it, or no. Less is more. If they ask for more, a little more, but not too much. Eventually, it's better just to say, I'm not feeling it. It's not the right time. I'm exhausted. Keep it simple, keep it honest, keep it short. You may have to say something like this because in the crowning position, we have 2 of Pentacles. You can't be everywhere at once. You can't please everyone at once. And you may not have enough to do what you need to at the moment. So in order to be successful, you have to make a choice. 6 of Pentacles, more leeway. 2 of Pentacles, make a choice. One of the choices can be not now. It doesn't have to be not ever, but you could say, this is where I can help you now, today, tomorrow. If you want this, I need this, or I can do it next week. So something's missing. Something is lacking balance. If you try to do it all, you go out of balance energetically. We're already seeing how to avoid the 10 of Swords that I saw in the weekly. So just don't overextend. Typically, those strings are like a rubber band. The rubber band can be our patience, our health, our attention span. All of these things can break. So we don't want them to break. We want to take care of ourselves. Pay attention to your budget. I had to do it. I want to do everything, but I can't do everything. So I have to say no to some things. So I said no to an opportunity because it just wasn't the right time. So pay attention to how much you can put in, time, energy, or money. Okay. We have Page of Swords in the near future. She's multitasking. She's getting away with multitasking now, but that's a lot. There's birds flying around her. There's light bulbs above her. She's tiptoeing on a sword. It's too much. So I really do think in this moment, it's important to be aware. This is the multitasking that is not allowing you to see the 3 of Wands. So she's doing this when she needs to be looking around, when she needs to be looking there, like what's the next step? I like that she's strategizing, but there is a time to then close the book and say, hey, what's going on? How are we tracking? What do you think? Connecting with others, being inquisitive, being present. So that is where it is almost, this is the metaphysical or supernatural piece. Successful people are able to project themselves into 2 time points, here and what's about to happen. But they stay grounded in here because this is where the decision and the power happens. People that are stuck are focusing on what used to work or what isn't happening. So the successful people, very much present, and they'll ping pong between this, but they have to come back into their body and say, okay, I'm here. Now what? So I feel like with this Page of Swords, there's too much projection into the future. You have to still be present. Listen, don't just speak. Look, don't just read. Take a pulse on what's going on right now. Don't just focus on projections. Projections can be wrong. So we need to look, this is the other thing, vet it out, have multiple sources, because there's bias in every type of reporting. It doesn't matter what you're looking at it. Like my first degree was in journalism. It's changed since I studied in the latter part of the last century. But we took ethics classes and we were told to never kind of show our cards, interestingly enough. Like you would want to be as neutral as possible. The goal of a good journalist is to tell the story that's truthfully there, independent of what they want the outcome to be. You are a reporter or a medium. Mediums have to tell what they see without coloring it with their own wishes. We now see not that. We see people reporting from a biased point of view and then judging. And you're not supposed to, there can be analysis, but it would be called opinion editorial, op-ed. So with this, we want to really make sure that we understand what's your motive when you're talking to someone, or you're reading something, or you're looking at the data. Where are the data from? What's the bias, the research bias on that? Okay? So vet it out. Multiple sources will help you get a bigger view. Make sure you're canvassing it from different points of view and talking to different people. Okay? Don't doubt yourself. In other words, trust your instincts. Magician in reverse has what it takes to make things happen, but tends to overthink. Make a choice. The magician has one of every element typically in front of them. They're represented by these little tiny triangles here that are hard to see, but fire, earth, air, water, etc. You don't have to put the kitchen sink in everything. Discernment is important. So trust yourself, focus, and be picky. And that's all you need. And you either feel it or you don't feel it. If you don't feel it, don't do it. Because the magic isn't there. The energy of making things happen isn't present. In the environment, we have the King of Wands. So there may be someone, could be a Leo, could just be someone that really has a sort of, the word strict, and it's a weird word to come through. They could be strict and they could have a very kind of like closed-minded point of view. This is your challenge. If there's something that you want, there's a gatekeeper, and they're intimidating, but there is two facets to them. One is the lion that's bold, that roars, that scares people. One is a human that's listening, that's been around, that has some gray hairs, that hasn't always had it easy, and maybe is putting forward this projection of strength when inside there's a little kind of cub or kitty cat instead of the lion. So what we want to do is appeal to the human beyond the projection of power. How can you humanize this? How can you relate to them, to something that they care about? Do your homework. Athena's coming through and saying once more. Because if you know your audience, you know how to do this. You know how to make it happen. Know your audience before you have the conversation. Don't give mixed signals. A message I would only give with this version because it looks like a traffic light. Also, the tapestry that we're seeing here. Three of Pentacles is typically an educational card or a learning or a mastery card, but it can also be a teamwork card, and they've chosen to focus on the teamwork aspect of it here. So you can learn a lot from others. You can do much more together, and you want to surround yourself with the smartest people. You don't want someone that says yes to everything. You don't want someone that constantly is disagreeing, but you do want people that are strong enough to question. Wait, are we sure? Or how about this? You want someone to say, you got something in your teeth. That is willing to make you look foolish for a second so that you cannot look foolish to the larger group. So surround yourself by people that are as intelligent, if not more, people that aren't always going to say yes, people that will ask the tough questions and love you enough to do all of that. Typically, that's like your parents, right? And if you're lucky, sometimes it's a teacher. But if you're building your own company, if you're doing your own thing, make sure that you're willing to pull a couple of strong-minded people into the group because you're going to be better. That little bit of competition, that little bit of edge is going to bring out the best in you. When we look at ventures that fail, it's often because there's nobody there that says, this is ludicrous, this is silly, you're not going to look good doing this, don't do it. That color doesn't look good on you. You're tone deaf in the way that you're delivering this. The timing is wrong. You're not reading the room. Find someone in your life that will say some of those things to you so that you can avoid making an unnecessary misstep. We see it in entertainers, we see it in politics, we see it in business. Sometimes people get to a certain level, surround themselves with yes people, and it is their detriment. It is the downfall. So you need people that will keep you accountable. Take it one step at a time. Temperance is not rushing, not getting overly emotional. If someone says something that gets under your skin, you take a deep breath and you say, let me think about it. Not what I wanted to hear, but let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And I appreciate that you brought it up. That's it. And then don't continue until you've done your work. Then you can have another conversation. Or say, how did you come upon that? Why are you saying that? Before you go straight to barbing and fighting, ask, communicate. The sword that Athena holds or that the Queen of Swords or Justice holds is communication. It's law and it's decorum, and we don't see it much anymore, but you can use it to your benefit. And temperance is basically saying, I'm going to take the deep breath to get me to that energy of decorum, right? The traditional card for temperance also is, here it is. We have 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land, and there's a path behind the angel. But before proceeding, they're kind of figuring out, am I in or am I out? And the 2 cups in the center, same thing. Making sure that emotions are not the thing that are pulling you, that you are not beholden to your feelings. You might be informed by the feelings, but you're not beholden to them, okay? Perfect. Love the pacing. We're good. Now let's look at this from kind of like in the flow. I'm going to pull a couple of different decks here and go with what Spirit wants me to look at. So let me pick those. Okay. What I want to, we'll use this one. What I want to look at first is what's been working. What's working, what's not working, what is availing itself to you. So we'll get super strategic now, and I'll just kind of leave this to the side. I should have enough room here. Okay, what are you doing that's working right now? So what I like about this is many of you are doing like this. So the patience piece is helping you with this. So we have Queen of Pentacles. She's really good with money, creation, and development. Your challenge in the moment that you're actually succeeding at for many of you is working past this feeling of I'm spinning my wheels, or I'm working with people that aren't connected as much. I have to give them some time to see how this can all connect. So the next step in this would be to go into a leadership role. So 5 of Wands is like we see here, disarray, disconnected energy. People aren't communicating. They may be doing duplicative efforts. There could be conflict because no one knows who's the boss or what the vision is. But what we see is the potential here for the 9 of Wands, getting really close to the finish line. But you have to, exactly like we see in this card, give them some steps. This isn't working, but this is what we could do. This is what you're doing right. Maybe we do more of that. Creating a roadmap, and you do that patiently. You do that together, cooperatively. You do that by being the boss, and you trust your instincts. Everything here on the left, well, this left, you know what I'm talking about. So all of the outcome cards are basically that. Okay, but now we've identified the challenge here, which is scattered people, scattered efforts. Things are not as organized, disarray, potential conflict, and what we have to do is create some steps to get to the finish line. Okay, so that's what you're doing well. That's what your current challenge might be. What could you change up? What should you be fighting for? What do we need to focus on? Where did I put my other deck here? Oh, let's see. Let's use this one. All right, Athena, what should we pull our attention towards? Okay, so we talked about this earlier, the 10 of Cups that came through, and was it for actually, it was for water. So specifically the water signs, but everybody. Lean into existing networks that you have. You do not need to do everything alone. In fact, when significant change has to happen, it comes through collective, what's the best word? Cooperation. So we're seeing this in different parts of the world. There's big elections that are happening, like they've happened in Germany, Canada, Australia. So change happens because a bunch of people get together and make the change happen. One person can lead, but you need a bunch of people that are willing to follow and come together. So that's an example. Elections show how a bunch of people can change the course of history. In companies, it can be a union. In families, it can just be, it's almost like an intervention. If someone needs help, you get a bunch of people together. So There are power in numbers. So you might need or want to kind of create the group, the grassroots effort or collective. So that's one thing that I see here. Your power is your passion and your compassion and your kindness and your ability to get to the little kitty cat beneath the tiger back here. So we have to be able to humanize. We have to be able to be sensitive. And we are seeing it in the world right now. So we talked about this. There can be shadow and light. Shadow often brings out the light. So if you're in a situation in your life, like a really negative or toxic workplace or something, and again, it's like we're working too many hours, we don't have any benefits, this isn't fair, we haven't gotten cost of raise, increases. So you create a union and you fight together. So if there's something that you need to get done, together you're stronger, but you do it because you lead with kindness, not with cruelty. Queen of Cups is that. Focus more on love, taking it out of these strategic relationships. Some of you are just ready for this. We come to this planet not to do it all alone, to make friends. Love is the currency of the universe. So you're meant to meet and love and experience that connection in the heart space. And it doesn't have to be another person. It can be a pet. It could be the planet, but somewhere the heart needs to connect. And invariably, like one thing that I know, if you have a dog and you walk outside, you're going to talk to people. You're going to talk to other dog owners or pet parents. You're going to talk to other people that love dogs. If you follow your passion attracts other people. So connect with your passion and you will meet people. Even if you're like if you're a collector of sorts and you go to a flea market or something, you're going to find other people and you strike up a conversation and now you have a new BFF. So your passion is your magnet. Whatever it is that you're looking for with people, your passion is the key. Athena wants you to focus, and your guides and the cards want you to focus on making sure that you, if you want something, that you ask for it. Ace of Pentacles in reverse is invariably saying, there's not enough. We saw this. I need some more of this. If you were cooking, you wouldn't just, if you need an ingredient, you buy it or you ask, or you go to your neighbor and say, do you have any salt or whatever? You don't miss the ingredient, you find it. So there's a missing ingredient, dig for it, ask for it, look around a little bit. This is also a card of personal investment. So we're not looking just at money. Education, Three of Pentacles is that. So you might be deciding to get additional education or experience. Invest in yourself, ask for something if it's missing, lean on others around you to help with that communication process. It could be much more fruitful in the sort of group energy than just doing it on your own, okay? I feel like that helped a lot, actually. So I want to move into a different energy rather than like fighting and all of that. We can look at conflict. We'll look at that in a moment. But back into the mythology of Pallas Athena, one of the things that she was able to do was to like spring forth. So there's two different things. Like she escaped the prison of her father's mind. There's a lot to unpack in that. But okay, so that's what I want to go for, is how can you get out of a prison of thought? How can you get out of a situation where you feel like there's no way out? Because she got out and she came through fully prepared. So that was since you guys chose this topic, I'm like, all right, let's go into that. All right, let me see which deck I want to use for this. So to rephrase it in ways that are easy to understand, if you're stuck, and you feel like you're trapped, how do you get unstuck? How do you liberate yourself? Also, why are you stuck? So many synchronicities. Like a lot of them today. Okay, so why are you stuck? We talked about it, Two of Pentacles. You have to make a choice. If you continue to try to be everything to everyone, everywhere at once, it falls apart. There's a little bit of time where you can stretch yourself, but eventually it's going to break. So this is the freedom, is just saying, I can't do it. And I know it's hard because you feel like you might disappoint someone, but you can also free up your energy and their energy. Cutting those cords. Just take one step at a time. That one step can be really impactful. So this person's getting on what looks like a light rail, a train. So all they have to do is step on the train. The train takes them so much further. You never know how far one step will take you. It's not literal like in everyday life where it's, okay, one. But even in real life, you could step on an elevator. You could go on an escalator. You could go on a tram. You could be stepping onto a plane. That one step could take you further than you ever imagined. And it could just be a step outside of your comfort zone. So stepping into the spotlight and speaking, stepping out the door at just the right time and bumping into somebody that you didn't anticipate. Take the step. There's nothing to be lost. You'll never know until you know. So it's worth taking the step. Eight of Pentacles, learning. This is an apprenticeship card, traditionally speaking. So you may decide to become a mentee, learn from a mentor, take a class, read up, study. You might also decide to create. This is a card of like production, writing, editing, producing. So it's also kind of like affirming that many of you have the talents and the skills. All that's required is the application. And it could literally be like an application too, applying to something. So Athena's almost coming through and saying you're only stuck if you continue to do something you don't want to do, if you are stagnant and don't take the first step. Once you've allowed that movement to happen, then it's just saying, drink it in, learn everything you can. Things will start to get much easier. Okay, that was cool. I mean, I feel like I've covered just about everything I need to today. What I'm going to look at next, and then we'll kind of go into the final portion of today's reading, is what do you need to know? I've been starting to add this into the new round of monthlies, which should be done by the end of this week if all goes well. What do you need to know in this moment that you're not paying attention to? Here's the other deck. Strategy, because Athena's good at strategy too. So what do you need to know? What don't you know? Yeah, what's coming through? So this is maybe the reason that all of you showed up today. What is your next move? What do you need to know? What's your next move? And then just kind of like whatever else we need to see beyond that. So what do you need to know? You've got the power, like that song, because we have the Sun card here. So it's about really embracing in that strength, in that ability to just go for it. What's your next move? So this is the second time we have a step card coming through today. So the Eight of Wands is to get busy and to basically just get the action moving. So it's time to take action. That first step will quickly become this, the ability for things to go much faster than you think. And to quote like Tina Turner, you don't have to fight anymore. The next move should be a cooperative, collaborative one. I always love a strength card where either they've flipped the roles or they've shown like a merging of the energy. So here, it's like the second time we've gotten that lion coming through too, but we have peace. So divine masculine energy that's embracing the divine feminine. Somewhere where we're not fighting the old unnecessary sort of gender or age or orientation biases. Like we need to just feel the sense of community and joy and togetherness. So there is strength in diversity. There is strength in numbers. You're strong. You could lead the charge. All of these things are comprised within this. And it shouldn't have to be so hard where you are going to eventually land and end up. We have to fight sometimes, but to forever fight, particularly if we're looking at a relationship, a job, or a place that you're living, that's when you start to question it. Is it worth it? Why am I fighting? All the time. So there needs to be some peace somewhere in your life. Where can you find your peace? That's where you can find your strength. And then maybe you can bring that peace to others. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. But also, these are just three great cards. Your power, your ability to multitask, your ability to lead is what this is coming through and showing you. Beautiful. Also, I love these illustrations in these cards. So that's why I work with multiple decks. They kind of show different aspects of what needs to be. All right, we're going to wrap up now. We have 2 parts here. We're going to meditate, and then I'll pull one final card. I'm sure you have at least one question that I haven't covered. So hold the question. Let's meditate. We'll keep the meditation brief. This is just a good way to close what we've done here. So one more time, I'd like you to imagine that you could take your hands like a magician and create this circle of light around your body. Imagine now that the circle extends all the way to heaven, all the way through to other dimensions. It's going infinitely in both directions. And you are safe. And this spotlight, if you will, follows you wherever you walk. In this spotlight, in this energy of light and connectivity to source, start to see things as they truly are. Imagine that if there is a fog, the fog is lifting. Imagine if there are clouds that they're burning off, and you can see only blue sky. You can see beyond the blue, you can see the stars, you can see the galaxies, you can see beyond the beyond. With this sense that there is much more than meets the eye, now put on a pair of figurative glasses and say, show me what I need to see. Meditate this week. Use this meditation and see what comes through. What reveals itself in your heart? What reveals itself in your third eye? Journal it. Pull a card if you need to, but listen to the vision and know that you are plugged in, that your eyes, all 3, are open, and that the path can and will be easier moving forward. Put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. Seal that understanding of your power, your vision, and your commitment to make things easier. Let it go. And whatever your final question and final sort of issue is, let's go ahead and pull one last card and see what Spirit has to say. All right, so we have the 9 of Cups. This is a celebration card. It's a dream fulfillment card, but it can also be overwhelming. We can't see what her emotion is. She's stuck behind all the cups. It is upright, but the cups are kind of like coming down like a waterfall. So it is not sort of out of the norm to, or I should say it's normal to feel multiple feelings when you accomplish something, like, or when you go through one of the milestones. So an example, I remember my graduation, like high school graduation back in the day, there were some people that were like, yay, super excited. I remember the girl in front of me was crying. I was just like, what are we doing? Curious, is this happening? So you can be in disbelief, you can be enjoying it, you can be nostalgic. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. It's actually really human and really good to just feel it and be in that energy. And know that 5 minutes from now, you could be different. 5 days, 5 months, 5 years from now, it could be different. There's a freedom in that knowledge. Because if it's bad, if it's uncomfortable, if it's sad, it doesn't persist forever, typically. And if it's really, really good, drink it in and enjoy it, because tomorrow could be different. Just take it as what it is, a moment in time. Take time to enjoy the little things, and know that if there is a wish or a dream, this card represents the ability to accomplish it. Fulfillment is at hand, okay? As a yes or no, it's a yes, but don't go to extremes. Remember the temperance angel that came through today. All right, that was fun. Change is good, guys, right? I like to change things up. Thanks for letting me do that. I feel like every week I want to do something a little different in each part of the reading just to keep it fresh, because, after 10 years, we have to change things from time to time. If you enjoy what you see here, subscribe, please. I'm close to a milestone. Love to get to the next number. When we do that, we'll do something special. Feel free to follow me on social media as well. It's always my full name on all major platforms. And I'd love to see you there. And I'm going to take a moment here to give gratitude to those of you that have given back here with super stickers, super chat, and with memberships. So thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I'm going to start off, because the window is open here. Let's take a look at those that have either celebrated an anniversary of being a member or have gifted some memberships. So, Kristen, thanks for gifting a membership. Lucy, thank you for being a member for 39 months? Get out of town. May the 4th be with you as well. Thank you also for gifting a membership. Kristen, thank you for gifting a second membership. You rock. Let's see, Deborah, Blessings to you as well. Thank you for 6 months of membership. Good to have you here. Let's see. Semolina, thank you for gifting one. Colette, 5 memberships you gifted today. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Let's see. Lady Intrigue, good name. 8 months of membership. So happy that you enjoyed the topic today. And that's a good name for a dog as well. I gifted 5, so welcome to the new 5 that got my memberships. Sarah, welcome. Let's see. Francis, thank you for sending a membership. We have Believe in Magic also doing the same. Natural Dog by Anne. Thank you for becoming a member. Good to have you here. Water Girl, a member of 21 months. Life is good. And it's better with you here. Thank you so much. All right, let me take a look and see how many of the new members I can see. The interface sucks on YouTube. So Dakota welcomed everybody, and I'll just have to say thanks to Dakota for doing that. I'll do what I can here to try to at least see the first 20 or so. So welcome to or welcome back to the following people. Fernanda, Nature League, I think it is. Ever, CDC. Teresa's, let's see, TN, JD, Jessica, Anixa, I think it is. It's me. Let's see, Lady of the Lamps, Esmery, Alexa, Tia, Carrie, I am. Let's see, Ratchis Magic, Susan, Astra, Sarah, and Karen. I think I can go to one more page here, and there's a lot today that showed up. So let me see. Yeah, 2 more. Okay, Ash and Soraya. So I got through all of them. Pronunciations, probably atrocious. Apologies. But thank you and welcome to all of you. Good to have you. All right, let's take a moment now and give some thanks to everybody that gave a sticker, because I appreciate those. So one moment, please, as I go to the super stickers. Okay, super stickers. Yolanda, Water Girl, Jackie, Jeannie, or Jean, Handy, Hearts, Lucy, Color Me Happy, and that's everybody. Okay, hopefully I got all the folks there mentioned, and much appreciation to everybody for showing up again. Thank you, Dakota, for helping me in real time, giving some thanks to all of you. We'll be doing a membership video this week. I try not to post it with all the polls because it will confuse you, but later today or tomorrow, I'll kind of like take a temperature check and see what you want me to cover. Maybe we'll pick one of the topics that didn't make it today that you want me to cover. Maybe we'll do something else. That's the fun thing with the members videos. I'll be wrapping up all of this month's videos this week. I have a new format that's allowing me to do them faster, and then we'll get into the next month and get back on track. All right, guys, have a great week ahead. Sending you lots of love and light. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Until I see you again, have a good one. Bye-bye.